Dear newborns, congratulations on passing the 100th Annual Hunters Exam. Welcome to the United Hunters Association. On our stubborn planet, there has always been far more monsterkind than mankind. Since the beginning of time, humanity has been outnumbered. Our homes and people are incessantly terrorized by the predatory nature of the beasts that roam every inch of the globe. It is our ancestors' great adaptability and the strength we carry because of it that has ensured our survival and resilience. However, a century ago, humanity tapped into a new resource, a new tool, a new gift, that of which finally gave the ability to compete for conquest of these lands, the Arcane. Osiris Black calls this magic a gift from the sun and the stars, mastering it to be our world's first and most powerful mage. Alongside the founders of the four guilds, they paved the way for more than just our survival, but for our advancement. In the present day, the four guilds are split on each of the main continents, and each with different specialties. It is all of our combined effort that continues our mission for peace and perseverance. You will be joining myself and the world's strongest hunters as a part of the Black Blades on the small but dangerous island country of Soris. It is with great excitement we are tasked to host such a talented bunch of fresh hunters, and we look forward to guiding you higher through our ranks. Sincerely, Guildmaster Rock. So, welcome to the new mini campaign set in this monster hunting world. We begin soaring through the skies, a blanket of clouds underneath, before we drop through and see below us with a bird's eye view this massive, beautiful island with mountains competing against one another, getting closer to the sky. We soar across and we see a great lake, some sort of serene ravine surrounded by these tropical trees before we see a massive volcano, higher than any mountain we've seen thus far. This dark rock and somewhat of these glowing veins trickling down towards it. We swirl around it before moving past and down further to the south end of the island, where we see big forest and luscious green covering mountains and rolling hills before we get all the way down to the edge of this island at the coast. And we see an almost equally tall structure, a large glass egg. And inside there is a swirling structure built almost 50 stories tall in the very center, surrounded by gardens and wooden docks, and it almost kind of looks like a terrarium built for people. And this is the Dragon's Egg, the safe haven and headquarters of the Black Blades. On the very edge, outside of the entrance to this glass egg, we see multiple docks. Now arriving are these 5 to 7 large ferry boats. And on each of these boats, 50 to 100 new hunters arriving. Not just the ones that have passed the recent hunter's exam, but veteran hunters getting back from traveling across the world for supplies and etc. But the characters we're interested in meeting on these ferry boats are you three. You all set out from your hometowns, your home islands, your home villages, wherever you're from, and on separate boats. You guys will be arriving separately, and so we're going to introduce your characters in the order of my choosing as you step on dock. Who is it gonna be? Who is it gonna be? Eeny, meeny, miny, you.
No. Who is that? Who is you?
Who's you?
You could be pointing at. We don't have cameras on.
I was mentally pointing towards Condi.
I fucking knew it. That felt like a pointed you at me specifically.
You could feel it. As you step onto the dock off your ferry boat, describe your character. Who are you? What do you look like?
Heavy steps down as you see a man wielding this giant fucking greatsword on his back. He has medium length black hair that is slicked back, pointing towards the back of his head, and a red headband. Going down, he has a leather vest that is cut off at the shoulders, completely sleeveless, and skin tight tank top as well. Very muscular. We're talking like kind of a pretty inverse triangle sort of body type here, with just, again, giant iron slab on his back. He also has some arm braces on him with bandages around him. It looks like he's been through the ringer a bit, like training a lot recently. Leather pants and also some gladiator sandals as he walks off. Takes a deep breath in. Guess this is home now.
When you say that, you look forward and you see walking down the dock about halfway towards the entrance of the Dragon's Egg, somebody you recognize. You see a guy walking, just got off ahead of you, seemed to be out and about a little earlier. He's a little bit shorter than you, more lithe than nimble. His hair is a bit thicker but straight, middle parted, darker at the roots and golden at the tips, pouring over the same red headband you wear, which immediately gives away who this is. This is Trey.
Oh, fuck. He passed too. Okay. Been a while since I talked to this guy. Hey! Trey!
He quickly looks back, he says, "Jed! Catch up, loser!"
You get the fuck back here!
Holy shit! He has these two sort of holstered daggers with sort of bone handles on the back of his waist. He, as soon as you like start rushing towards him, he yanks them out, and he gets ready to deflect whatever fucking is happening. But then you tackle him. Let me go ahead and roll just like an athletics check. I'm gonna roll acrobatics here. Oh, it's bad.
Oh, I have a +7 to athletic. 18.
8. Yeah, I rolled a natural 4. There's like no fucking way. He couldn't even get the daggers out before you tackle him, and then he go, and then his like hands are just sort of like trapped behind his back as you tackle him. Oh, man!
Still slow as ever, huh? So I use
damn
those
it.
small blades. I get it. Get up.
Yeah, you pull him up. There's the loudest dab in the entire area. Makes the water underneath the dock ripple. And once you do that, we zoom in on your hands and get brought back to a moment in the past where the two of you are quite a bit younger, and you are in the middle of a training day with your master, and the two of you are meant to be sparring. So go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay. I know this memory. I win, by the way. Just so there's like a canon here so we know. Like, I remember this one clearly as a character. It's a pivotal moment for my character, and I win. So, how long ago was this?
Let's say about 5 years ago.
Okay. I got a 12 initiative.
Okay, he got a 20, and top of the round, he just rushes forward. He's gonna go for a strike that is a 16. Does a 16 hit your AC?
16 does hit my AC.
Okay. Both of his daggers, these look a lot more makeshift and not as well kept. It kind of looks like training daggers almost. He strikes your blade with it and breaks your guard, and then goes for like 2 small strikes in your abdomen. And as he does that, say,
That hurt, man.
gotcha.
It's not fair. No, it's not fair. You're using tiny little blades, and I have this giant big one. It's not fair. I can't move that fast.
Keep making excuses, why don't ya? You're never gonna get strong enough to beat fucking bigger monsters if you can't beat little old me.
Fine.
Next up is gonna be you.
Okay. I struggle to hoist this greatsword, and I go for like, I'm using my entire body weight, and I go like a shot put. You know how you like when you're shot putting, you spin? I like try to spin it and use centrifugal force to swing it into him.
Okay, roll the hit.
That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. So describe how you land this strike and what happens.
Yeah, so like I swing it, it misses, and then like in the middle of my swing, I do like almost a dash forward with it, and then catch him kind of like in the ribs on the side.
Yeah, he gets smacked in the ribs and actually goes fucking flying and tumbling because of how the weight of this sword. He goes, ah! Fuck!
Not fast enough.
My ribs!
Yeah, I know, you know how I feel. Ah!
Pause! You hear your master yell out, and you immediately kind of like strike to attention. You know her to be a hulk of a woman, extremely intimidating, all strict in stature, but at the same time, there is a compassion behind her eyes, despite the high expectations that she has and carries and looks at the two of you with.
Yes, Mom, I mean, Master.
She walks past Trey, just sort of like picks him up by the scruff of his neck as if he was a cat, and then sets him up and it says, beasts are gonna hit a lot harder. The Jinn here, you need to be quick, you need to be smarter, and you need to stop being so friendly in the midst of combat. Outside of training, we are friends, family even. When you're training, you are rivals. Enemies if you need it. Take it seriously. Yes, ma'am. And then she walks over to you, Jin.
Yeah, I mean, I always take everything I do seriously, so...
You're still too slow.
Fuck.
You handle that blade as if it's controlling you. Why is that?
Do you know how heavy this thing is, Mom?
That's Master. She picks up the blade with one
Sorry,
hand,
Master.
and she like spins it around as if it were a fucking short sword. I want you immediately 500 push-ups, 500 squats, and then I want you guys to run a mile around the island. Understand?
Yes, Master.
She like sits down for a second. Now.
I walk over to Trey, and I get down and start doing push-ups. Way to go, Trey.
He coughs up a little bit of blood. Fuck you. That hurts. Hey. Cut forward a little bit, and you guys are running around the jungle that you guys live in, this kind of like jungle island. And as you're running, Trey says to you, you know, all this work, I know we gotta survive, fight back, but is there anything that, you know, keeps you going when she yells at you like that?
I look him dead in the eye. Yeah. Then I'm gonna be stronger than you.
You fucking dick. And as you look him dead in the eye, we kind of zoom into the back of your eyes, further back into the past, and we see a village on fire and people screaming with you laid up on the ground, an injured leg, and these beasts, these shadow monsters. It's too dark. All you get a glimpse of are just the glows that the fire reflects off their scales and their eyes as they just tear through this village of yours. And as one of the monsters goes, begins to leap towards you, your master, Ela, suddenly appears in front, striking down with this massive greatsword, cutting this beast in half, looks back at you, screams, "Up! Now!"
So I'm younger now. God.
Yeah.
My leg is broken. I can't.
Fight through the pain! Because if they see you weak, you will die! And then she helps you up, and you start running on this broken leg as the two of you rush out of your home. And then we come back.
And I'm still locking eyes with him, running. Yeah, there's definitely no trauma that fuels my life right now.
We come all the way back to the present day, where you have just tackled Trey into the ground. Getting a closer look at him now, he's human like you. His eyes are dark brown. His skin is like smooth with a tawny beige complexion and warm, earthy undertones. He's clean shaven, proudly sporting a scar on his narrow chin amongst his smaller and more rounded facial features. He wears a forest green sleeveless hooded cloak, brown leathers, and bone armor around the forearms and the shins. And he just kind of looks at you and says, "All right, get off me, you big fucking monster, honestly."
How's the old lady been?
Well, She's a little gripey that you didn't come visit her after the exam.
I had things to do, okay? I mean, like, there's a lot of good food in other villages besides the one we come from, you know?
Yeah, sure, whatever. So, we both picked the Black Blades, figures.
There wasn't really another option, to be fair. I mean, not like this blade's gonna be of any use in, I don't even know the other guild's names. That's how few options I had, actually.
Me neither! Fuck them!
Yeah!
Yeah! You guys just gotta start following the crowd, running in. As you guys actually emerge into the Dragon's Egg, we move over to another ship, a ferry boat, and the character stepping off this one is yours, Bebo. So, who are you? Describe your character as you step onto the dock. And yours is actually a much smaller ferry boat. It seems like only 20 or so people come off of this one.
First, you can see the red hair laying down over his face as he looks down. His hands with gauntlets of monster teeth coming out of the knuckles.
What the fuck?
A cavity in his chest of black, with darkened veins bulging and moving out from it.
Oh, God.
Small cloth draped around his left shoulder. He holds a pen, presses it down to a journal in his hand. I may have passed the test, but the true test lies ahead. I take no joy in what must be done. Purging the beasts is my burden to bear. I look to those around me. I see nothing but beast bait. A fate sealed by the weakness in their eyes.
Are you saying this out loud?
I only hope when they see the power of the beasts that I wield, they know this is the only way. I crush the pen in my hand and I shut the journal.
You're such a freak, dude.
Please monologue every chance you get. Every chance in your mind. Just please.
Slowly
All out
So
loud.
funny.
rising up is Everett James Petalbridge. As I take a step off the boat, you can hear it. A weight shifting, the water moving, and like a parting of the seas, all those in front of him move away as he steps ever so slowly forward towards the Dragon's Egg.
Yeah, you feel immediately someone extremely large shoulder check you violently as they continue to walk past you.
I don't want to let him. I want to not move. I want to be unwavering.
Okay, roll strength check.
It's going to be a 7.
You feel
Oh, man.
as you are walking and having this brooding moment, your right shoulder just goes twists your body almost a full 90 degrees. You can feel like he really fucking hit you. And then in front of you, you hear, well, if it isn't the fucking monster boy, does your mother even still love you?
As he checks... Jesus Christ. As he checks my shoulder, I move to the ground in a kneeling position, my hair damp and covering my face. I look up, and you can see my eyes shift to a green, become that of a monster as I look up at him. I want to scare him and make him think I'm going to eat him.
Okay,
I let
roll,
out a small, like a light growl.
roll intimidation, and I'll let you roll it straight because you did just get shoulder check.
cool.
Not a disadvantage.
That's an 18.
That's an 18. Okay, so when you look up at him, you see who I have only described, because I didn't have time, I've only described as elf douchebag with a giant sword. You see Alf, the alpha elf. You remember him from the exam when you were doing one-on-ones and you had to fight him. You did win, and when you look up at him, he sees that monstrous bloodlust in your eyes. And at first he's really cocky and confident, and he's surrounded by these other two brand new professional hunters. One is like a gnome, the other is kind of a little bit taller but still short, like a halfling, and then there's another half elf. And
Can I say something to him as well?
yes, please say something.
Okay. I just look up and that beastly form takes my eye and I say, Alf, if you want to keep your tongue, I suggest you keep it to yourself.
What the fuck ever, dude? Come on, guys, let's go. And as he like turns around, you can kind of see that there is a small, warm, wet patch, and he's kind of like, I guess like a loincloth, like rag shorts or something. And then they just sort of like, he like kind of forcefully turns them around as some of his party is like chuckling. You'll fucking remember this day, monster boy. When I see you out on the field, you better check behind your fucking back. And then they just walk off.
Smell the weakness on you. I will use it to my advantage. I stand.
I have a fucking condition, dude. They walk off. And up ahead, you see Jin and another guy you have not met before.
The camera definitely needs to go away from me and be on Jin for a second, and then kind of move to the side to see I'm right behind him.
As you scarily fucking appear next to Jin, we pull back to another day farther in the past, but your past. And we see you as a young boy sitting at a campfire. Above you are these huts and the really tall forest trees connected by these drawbridges and rope bridges. And you're actually on the ground below your homes, sitting with your mother and looking into the flames, staring into it, almost like it's captivated you in your mind, like it's trying to tell you something. And there's some other folks that are around, but most of them are just kind of like touching and talking to the trees. And your mother is preparing these like oversized eels to cook up on the fire. And she sort of whispers back towards you as you're staring into it. You know, a lot of us don't go out and hunt more often, just based on the values of trying to live one with the creatures in this forest. But I don't know. Some of these creatures, they must want to survive too. Perhaps it's not up to us whether or not we.
Couldn't it be?
Sorry? And she kind of realizes that you were listening, and she's like talking to herself.
Couldn't it be up to us?
Oh, I think everyone would like to think so. But does it have to be? Wouldn't it just be more peaceful, you think, to sit here under the trees and the stars and live as the world intended us to, without so much strife and conflict, and when our day comes to visit the other side, depart from this one, whether that's joining the food chain in the mouth of a beast, or old age, if we're lucky, or sickness. Don't you think that's a little more natural? And you're like 6 years old, dude. Like, you're so young.
Mom, what happens when we die? Does it just go black?
You know, son, a long time ago, I wondered the same thing. I was staring a monster in the face. My spear was broken. I stared into its maw as it drooled, and I thought that was it for me. I wouldn't be able to provide for you or make it home to see you and tuck you into the leaves. And I wondered too, what was going to happen when I died? Is there another side? And suddenly, this incredible warrior dropped from the trees and struck it dead.
Whoa. Finally break contact with the fire and I start looking up.
I asked him why he saved me. He said, because everyone should have the option to choose how and when they want to die. And you looked like you weren't ready yet. So, I don't know. Nobody knows what happens.
He killed it? He must be like really big and strong in 1 billion muscles.
He was pretty strong. At least I think it was. He wore a mask. And he was covered in monster hide. He'd used their scales for his own protection.
Whoa.
But regardless, I still wonder if I was meant to be eaten that day, or if we disrupted the cycle. He seemed to think that we should be the ones in control. We should have the choice.
He's smart. He's really smart.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I have doubts that tampering with the natural order only causes harm. And then we cut a few years later out alone in a cavern, and you have these 2 bottles. There's a dead monster behind you. Its blood leaking into a pool next to you. What does it look like the first day you do your thing?
I pull out an old scroll. Just a piece of parchment that has some directions on it, mostly used for healing. And from a small sack, I pull out a snake. It's out of the bag. And I look at the picture of the snake and some of my own markings on it. And what I will do is take the snake, look it in the eyes, and I just say to myself, I will choose. Cycle be damned. And I push the snake's face towards my chest, and the teeth lash out into the center of my chest. And I hold it there. And with another hand, I scoop up some of the monster blood. And I drink it.
Here in this cave, you inject yourself with this viper venom. As like these grotesque veins begin to crawl through your skin from the injection point, and you do something taboo and forbidden, and you willfully drink the blood of a monster, something that has caused many different families and humanoids and humans grief from the monster blight disease and the different tiers of severeness that it can cause. But you do it with this scroll and its information and this combination. As these 2 things interact in your body, what was the first trait? Your teeth sharpen, your claws sharpen.
Actually, what I killed was a fucked up little dodo thing, and then like my legs get like way shorter for a second.
Oh my god.
And I lose the ability to talk for an entire day, and I just keep going. Ah!
Don't tell anyone that. That's some shit you gotta go to the fucking grave with.
We smash cut your next Jin in the present day. The first sound that comes out of your mouth when Jin notices you is
Everett James Petalbridge.
Just wanted to make sure you were on your guard. And I hold out my hand up top. For like hesitantly, I go up for a high five.
That's a character growth. High five him. I thought you'd be living in a cave by now, man. It's good to see you.
No, I've got bigger things, Jin.
Like a dungeon?
Bigger fish to fry. Bigger beasts to burn.
Trey is
Who's your
standing
friend?
there seeing this. And he says, "Oh, hey, you're the scary one that fights without a weapon."
Sure.
Yeah, he attacked me at the end of the exam and almost killed me.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
Small miscalculation.
maybe you guys just don't say that very loud around here.
No, it was like a friendly attack me.
Oh, okay. Like you guys were like fighting
like
in the
us, like
dark.
what we do, Trey, all the time.
What did you guys fight in the exam?
Oh, it's this giant like multi-headed was it multi-headed or was it like multiple stakes?
I believe it was a multi-headed snake.
Yeah, and each one was like a different color and different element. It was crazy. Actually, we're still missing somebody. Lucia, where she is, Everett?
She must have passed.
Oh, we passed, so I can only assume.
I look back. We'll see if she had the stomach. Stick around.
We move back down the docks, and walking up to the entrance is going to be your character, Milo. So, speaking of Lucia, describe her and tell me who you are. Tell us who you are, what you look like and stuff.
Lucia is this super skinny elf girl. She's got like a round face. She's got these bright green eyes, greenish brown, and she's got this shaggy, bright blonde hair, like it's almost white. And it does not look kept at all. I mean, it's like split ends. She's got these two braids going down, but like the top has not been touched in a while. She's wearing a long flowy dress and a green cloak with gold accents and brown sandals. She's got these little cuff earrings on her elf ears on the top that look homemade. They're crude. Honestly, it looks like she found metal outside and just kind of threw it together and bent it to her ear shape. And they're clipped on the tops of her ears. And a green pendant necklace.
Can I go up to her?
Yeah.
Can I appear in a crowd next to her?
Well, she walks down and she's holding a bag, and you see a cat pop up out of the bag. It's a tortoise shell cat, very tiny. And I look down at my cat and I go, Amber! And I shove her head back in. And you see me very timidly walk down, itching multiple parts of my hair and face, looking around very nervously.
I want to appear right next to Lucia and just no hi, no hello, just, what's that on your ear?
I swing my head around. Where are you relative to me?
On the left side of you.
I turn to the right. I'm like looking around frantically.
Everybody is walking down this dock, and you're like one of the last people, so people kind of like turn back to look at you, and then everybody kind of stops and stares, and now it's just the two of you like having all this attention suddenly.
I pull the thing from her ear. I look at it.
I turn around then because I noticed where you are relative to me. Hey, give that back.
What is the point of this?
It looks good.
Says you. I hand it back.
Hey, I actually think it looks really nice. Yeah, I show up behind you because you turned around to see fucking Everett.
And I instinctively cuff my hands around my ears because I think you're gonna steal one.
When you scream the second time and then cuff your ears, we sort of zoom into the cuffs and fade to black before fading back into your ears as a much younger kid wearing the same cuff earrings. And you are in a more grounded village, and you're inside your little hut of sorts in the section that is meant for you and your little sister in this hut to sleep in, separated from the main part of it where your family usually resides. And you're young, it's nighttime, it's sort of raining outside, and in a little cradle made out of like twisted straw, you see your tiny baby sister, who is pale in face with dark circles under her eyes, incredibly sick. And you watch in this moment a third eye that opens up on her forehead.
Is this the first time that I'm seeing anything like this?
Yes.
I kind of startle back and brace myself on the wall. And then I slowly reapproach the crib and look down at my sister and reach my hand toward her face.
She is incredibly still. But when you go to touch her face, it almost kind of, she kind of moves instinctually, and you feel how cold she is. but her shivering stops when you guys make connection. And you can hear in the other room your parents melting down. Your father saying,
No. If anyone finds out, that's it. It can't happen.
your mother says, we can't just leave her here. She can't just stay here and never go out. That's not a life either.
I don't care. As long as it's a life.
They come in and they see you with your hand on her cheek. And they gently pull you aside for a second.
What is it?
Hey. So, you know that we go away and we usually leave the two of you to the care of the village elders. So we have important work helping the guilds. Your sister is sick.
Lucia just nods.
She's going to be okay. Can you do a favor for us?
Do anything.
This is a type of illness that can spread easily, and it scares people. So, when myself and your mother are not home, we would like you and your sister to stay inside.
For how long?
Of just long enough for us to find a good cure. She may look a little different, but as long as you're with her and we love her, she will be the same. Do you understand?
Is she going to be okay?
Yes.
And then we move through a few years. The two of you get a bit older. Her teeth are super sharp. She grows scales in places. And she doesn't talk too much, but you take care of her. And she's able to play. But the two of you, and eventually just her, don't leave the hut most days. Except for one night. She longs out the window and sneaks away. Before you're able to find her, the village does. And the next memory, you're sitting inside your hut and peeking through the front door. You only see the glow of a flame in the center of this village's square. You see a crowd of people. Some you recognize. Most of them you recognize. You see your father yelling loudly in a screaming match with the leader of your village. Your sister being hugged as your mother violently sobs. And because you're so frozen, what are you thinking as you watch this happen?
I turn my back towards the door that I was looking through, and I slowly slide down the wall. My hands are shaking, and I try to get up, but my legs won't carry me. I've completely frozen in place as I listen through the door, hearing the crowd of people screaming at my parents. The image of my sister in my mom's arms is flashing in my head, and I just shut down. No. No, no. No, no, no. And I just... Lucia curls in a ball. She can't move.
The village elder is shouting,
You endanger us all!
and your father shuts the conversation down with,
I will take care of this! She is mine and my responsibility! And she has not hurt anyone yet!
you hear some skirmishing. Your mother wails, and your sister doesn't come home that night.
Fuck.
We move forward a few years later. to where your parents are gone more than often on hunts. And you meet a cat, a small one, abandoned in the woods around your home. And that's where we transition from here back to the present day as Amber paws at your bag, trying desperately to get out and
I open the
explore
bag.
around.
No,
He pops it open, and Amber hops out and begins to kind of walk around, and you see that inside the dragon's egg, as you guys are now close enough, you see a ton of these little tiny house cats roaming around.
Huh.
And Amber
Oh my God.
has not met another cat like this before, and as she sees this, she kind of stops, stares, and then begins to hunch over a little bit as the
Amber.
other cats kind of ignore. So yeah, some of them try to come up and sniff her, and then Amber just rushes back towards you and hops in the
Dude, you roleplay a cat really well. I can see all of this shit happening. You're really good at this. You should have been a cat, I think.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, dude.
I was a cat once.
Yeah.
in another life.
Oh God, we're back.
Oh no, just like that, we're back.
Just like that, we're back.
Anyways, so you guys are all together. You've met up. Trey says, well, looks like she showed up. I'm Trey. Nice to meet you. And he walks over, sticks his hand out, and shakes it as you're being harassed. Or tries to shake it. It's really up to you.
I look down at his hand and I full palm lick my hand and slap it against his. And I shake it once and then I hold it.
That's weird, but yeah, I mean, Trey, this is
gross
Lucia,
thing to
and
do.
this is Everett James Pedalbridge. If you don't say the full thing, he'll get angry at you.
Name's Everett James Pedalbridge.
Yeah. He's just shaking, and he goes, nice to meet you. I'm gonna let go now, okay?
She doesn't let go.
Oh, right. I gotta go find... You guys have your party. You're together. I should go find mine.
I suppose I must adhere to the customs, and I lick.
I lick
shake his
my
hand.
other hand while still holding on to Trey's hand, and I slap it into Everett's.
What a disgusting.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure your party's so great.
Absolutely subhuman.
Yeah. Really.
Good luck with this, Jen. And then he moves his hand away and just starts to fucking run.
What was his problem?
I lift up the hand that I shook with his, and I sniff it a little bit, and I just rub it off on my cloak.
You're a freak, dude. I love you guys. Oh my god.
Remember that scent. We might need to track him in the future.
Oh, I know he went west.
So,
I believe we will be together from now on, yes?
Yeah. So what have you guys done while you were away?
The two of you must know. The one they call Alf, the Alpha Elf, stands between us and our mission.
That guy's a freak. How did he pass?
I have a condition, dude.
His stench permeates my nostrils. I cannot forget him. I believe if we are to be successful in our plight, we must wipe him.
Like his butt?
Like his life.
You want us to kill him? I think he'll take care of himself, honestly.
I simply mean, perhaps we use him as bait in our next hunt.
Wow. You know, if Alf wasn't such a dipshit, I would be against this, but he is, so let's do it, yeah.
Agreed.
So, you guys are here. The very southern tip of this island country called Saurus. In the safe haven, the Dragon's Egg, you guys see that bulky, coiled structure in the center, that sort of swirled-shaped treehouse. It's super massive. It is the main structure, and again, you see a multitude mixture of forest trees, jungle trees, palm trees, other flora and stuff like that. And you also see in the center there is it's a pretty massive kind of ground level square before you actually get to the treehouse building, and you see sort of an outlet of different merchants and traders, basically people that are here with equipment and materials and items and stuff from different continents and the all over the world. The two that catch your eye immediately as you're kind of like walking past them to get to the entrance of the, I gotta find a name for this middle structure because I don't want to keep calling it the coiled treehouse. But you pass them, you see they have little signs that have their names on them. Francine and Frank, they're twins, and that's kind of what catches your eye about them. They are kind of have like mercantile clothing, fine fabrics and cloaks. Since they are twins, they're both dwarven. They both have lighter, fair skin that's a bit sunburned, so cooler pink undertones, especially deeply saturated at their cheeks and noses. They're both short, maybe about 4'3", stout as well, meeting every passerbier's gaze with their golden eyes and bright smiles. Francine has a bit more defined and pointier facial features. Both their hair is brown, but hers is buzzed, and she sports 2 decorated monstrous scale earrings. Frank, on the other hand, you can only really see his eyes and his beautiful broad button nose peeking through long wavy hair that mixes into an equally luscious and braided beard. When you kind of like walking past them, because everyone's heading towards the same place, as there is a sort of initial welcome meeting happening inside the gathering hub of the first floor of the Swirl Treehouse, the Swirly House. You hear them talking and trying to compete and get people's attention. Oh, hey, come over here, eh? Hey, over here. We got some stuff from the other places, eh? You know, every hunter needs good gear. Welcome all the new hunters, eh?
Why do you speak this way?
I'm feeling a little attacked.
No, dude, you're not attacked. These are your people, man.
These are my people.
Francine
Fuck
yells
yeah,
out,
bud.
"Oh, hey, bud, come over here!" Speaking directly towards you, Jim. You look like you could use some new polishes for your big sword there, eh? Hey, need a bit of a sharpen, huh?
No, listen, I have custom polish for my sword, okay? Nothing but the best. Can't let anything else touch it, otherwise it will actually crumble into pieces.
Okay, we're not going to pester you too hard, bud. But hey, if you need some potions for healing or the lake, you know, we've got some from the mainland if you need them, eh?
Oh, I've also got, like, tons of potions. I came prepared, you know, I mean, like, I've been training for this my entire life, so...
Your shoes are looking a little dirty there, eh? You need a bit of a clean?
Oh, these are just my dirty shoes that I wear out sometimes. I have clean ones at home.
I want to lean onto the table and say, hey, what's your deal? Nothing wrong with his shoes?
Oh, we got good deals, bad deals, eh? But most of the time, pretty good deals. You know, trading not in whatever you got to trade with us. We'll trade back something of equal value. That's the only deal we got, eh?
I looked at Jim.
What's your deal? What you need?
Are they threatening us?
No, they're not threatening us.
Okay.
They're just really persistent.
Yeah, you know when you walk past like the different kiosks in the mall and people are just like always trying to get your attention? That's what this feels like.
I feel extremely threatened right now.
You want to clear up your skin a little, eh? We got some new serums.
My skin is as clear as it needs to be.
Oh, hey, bud. All right, let's not get our teeth in a cavity, eh? The fuck does that even mean, dude?
Now there's something wrong with my teeth. Is that right? You tread on thin ice, and I will remember
Okay,
you
we
You
should
should
get away from here.
hear as you start
pull you away.
monologuing, and I grab both of the backs of your jackets, and I
That
pull.
works,
As
honestly.
you're pulling me away, I'm just like, I feel the beast calling to me from within.
Well,
You don't really pull me, I just walk with you.
I wish to let it out, but I know this is not the time nor
He's
the
saying
place.
this as I'm dragging him, and he has to slowly back
In
out.
my heart, I know bigger battles await me.
Jesus Christ.
For
dude.
now, I quell the darkness.
They both say in unison, "Well, come back and see us, eh?" And
But
then
it may only be held back for so long.
Who taught you to talk like that?
I wasn't taught. I was molded. Shaped by my experiences. I've seen what the monsters can do. I simply exist to stop them.
Yeah, but like, do you have to be such a downer about it?
I am not down, I am up. I am extremely tall for my age.
How tall are you?
I am about 6 foot.
Okay.
Pretty good height.
Okay, not bad, not
He's
bad.
like lanky. He's like a lanky.
Yeah, that's like-
Imagine
that's
just like lanky fucker white boy, just insufferable.
Lucia drops down to the ground and checks your shoes, and then pops back up. He's not lying.
Were you checking my shoes to see
Yeah, I
how
was
tall
checking
I
to
was?
see if you were lying. Or
Okay, okay. What in my shoes would tell you I was lying?
That's what I want to know.
Pegs.
Pegs. The forbidden art.
Hey, so we're gonna be late to like the opening ceremony thing.
You guys are kind of like walking and talking.
I will be on time whenever I arrive.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. But like, I don't really want to be late.
The classes here are simply a catalyst.
I don't
Wait, not
think
class.
we have classes. I think we just go hunting.
Oh, really?
Where do you think this is? Are we at like school right now? Do you think?
I was under the impression there was more classes to take.
I'd like to take
No.
home ec if
I
it's
mean, maybe
available.
they might maybe they have like clubs. Like you could. Maybe they play like some monsters and mansions.
If those around us do not get further training, they will surely die.
Yeah, probably. But like, you don't need. I think they know that.
Speaking of those around you guys, because you're talking about like your builds and stuff, with the people in this world, and specifically here in the Dragon's Egg, there is a like great diversity among the people in shapes, sizes, and shades, colors. But the one thing that is clear, despite Everett's opinion, everybody looks strong in their own way.
Psych.
Except for Alf, the alpha elf.
Well, he is actually kind of jacked, but
Where is that
shit.
motherfucker, by the way?
I'll get to that in a second. But
Okay, cool.
it's not that everybody is like super muscly and jacked and stuff like that. It's mostly just like everybody has the stature or the aura of being extremely skilled or strong, and mostly everybody has like an oversized weapon of some sort. Besides you, Everett, you don't have a weapon, and you
Don't need it.
Lucia have was it a staff?
I have a crossbow.
Is it like a big crossbow or like a hand crossbow?
It'd be like a hand crossbow. Not something that I'd have to like load on my back.
Okay. So most of you have oversized weapons, and then like Lucia has a
I've got a
tiny little crossbow gun.
Anything.
Speaking, okay, you're asking where Alf the Alpha Elf is, and everyone, including him, has gathered in the hub of the first floor. Oh my god, I did give it a name. It's called the Hunter's Spire. So here at the Spire, you guys walk in up some wooden steps to get to the first floor. And there's two rooms, there's two areas, two chambers inside on the left and right side of the first hallway. The end of the hallway leads to more steps that swirl around and go to the higher floors. The left and the right are the chambers here on the first floor. The left is the dining hall, right is the gathering hub where people are sort of funneling into. There are some veteran hunters here, even though they don't necessarily need to be. Most of them are probably, you would probably guess this, Jen, kind of scouting out, you know, the new hatchlings, the new people who are going to be joining the ranked and stuff, kind of see like who they might want to have on their bigger hunting parties in the future and stuff, as you know, these rookies get stronger. And at the very end, on sort of a raised platform, kind of like stage, you see two people who have a like a broken off monster horn that's like cut at the top to make it go as they get everyone's attention, and everyone kind of settles and quiets down to look in their direction. And you see first a boulder of a man, just with his like sheer size of stature and the weight he has just on the ground. Like, he's a big dude, super strong. When you look at him, you kind of feel like this reverence as from a leader. There's a bit of intimidation with just his natural gaze, but also security, because he looks out and he proudly gestures toward everybody. You see, he appears to be human. He has long, bright red hair and an intricately layered, overgrown beard. His skin is a fawn hue with subtle, leafy green undertones and a bit of red saturation at his cheeks. There's a scar that kind of splits one of his bushy eyebrows in half. His other features, those you can see, are strong and boxy, but the rest of his frame is round yet very muscular. He is also wearing like armor made from thick serpentine scales with different snake motifs throughout. And instead of carrying an oversized weapon, very similar to you, Everett, he has sort of like these knuckle dusters made out of monster bone and material. But he's geared up. And he speaks first, addressing the crowd. So, you've all made it. Kind of like pats his stomach. Well, I am Guildmaster Rock, and it is my great honor and with much pride to welcome new hunters here today. We, the Black Blades, are called that for a few reasons, as most of you know, and I don't want to waste your time with some chummy, sweet message about being here, because what we do is not sweet. But as the Black Blades, we are called this, and we have pride as this, because of two reasons. One, you should already know, and two, not as well known, but a bit of a side objective here on Saurus. Here on the island, there is a rare material, rare ore. Most of the time it grows closer to the volcano. Other times it actually grows out of particularly strong monstrous scales. It is with this ore that we believe we could turn the tides, the tables against the monsters and the beasts, because it has the capacity, we believe, to fuse with the arcane that some of us very rarely are gifted with. Of course, this ore is colorless, and only the strongest veteran hunters so far are able to wield this great weapon. And he kind of like gestures towards his left, and you see a woman who is equally imposing, almost always battle ready, strict, objective expression. Looking at her is like looking at the fucking apex of humanity. She's hardened, she's huge, she demands respect just standing next to the guild master. It almost seems like she should be the leader, but they're kind of like a team almost. She definitely has her specialties as per her title and her name. Hunt Master Hawk, he says out loud. And he gestures towards this massive fucking sword that's a little bit similar to yours, Chin, but the shininess, it almost looks like it's made out of obsidian almost, but it's a little bit duller than an obsidian sword. And it's kind of like shimmering with this magical essence. She looks half elven, her skin glistens and glows a light brown with golden undertones. Like a professional bodybuilder, every muscle is intentionally sculpted and defined and well built. Her hair is raven black, straighter, silky, and cut short just below the ears. It parts at the side, the right side swept back, and the left falling over her dark colored eyes. She has smaller, soft features and a thinly rounded face shape. She's wearing this leather vest, the collar decorated with oversized feathers and other armor made from thick spiked monster hide. She stands next to him and doesn't speak as he gestures, but just kind of stands at ease, almost kind of like a militaristic stance. Super powerful. And he continues on, so that's the first reason. Of course, we all want to be wielded with this powerful weapon so that we can fight back harder against the monsters. But the reason all of you should know, the reason we are even existing and together as the Black Blades, what our four guildmaster from long ago set out to do. Someone here, tell me, how do you identify a monster from a monster? Would if any of you like to try and guess this? I'll let you roll for it. If any of you would like to raise your hand and try and
Yeah, I'll roll.
Okay, let's roll a history check.
9.
I want you to just yell out a guess.
Yeah, I mean, most monsters attack on sight and kill people and stuff, so, those are the bad ones.
Everybody looks at you, not because they don't want to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong towards Guildmaster Rock. And you yell it out. He goes, yes, that is true, but not the answer I'm looking for.
Oh, my bad.
Your question confuses me and annoys me slightly.
Lucia picks her nose.
All eyes were on us, right?
Why do they look at me?
I wipe it off on Everett.
Look elsewhere!
All right. Well, I'll clarify
Thank you.
how to tell the difference between a beast that is dangerous but easily killed and a monster that threatens the survival of all humanity. There is a difference, and it only happens when they bleed. A regular beast, a regular monster, typically has different shades, but the most common that we know of is blue blood. But a monster, the ones that we hunt, the ones that we set out, to rid this world of so that we can stand at the top of the food chain and prosper. When cut, their blood is devoid of light, colorless, and that is what coats our blades. That is what makes us the Black Blades. That being said, you're all relatively new, so your first hunts here probably won't be that dangerous. Maybe with a few exceptions, but I will now let Huntmaster Hawk here continue the rest of this introductory ceremony.
I thought your answer was better, Jin.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. It was honestly like I was a little embarrassed because I really thought I had that one.
to be here, guys.
Who was that?
Who is that?
You see you see a small person just kind of like next, like behind you, kind of doing this PB dance. Oh man, I really hope this ends soon.
Small boy. You should
No,
not
like
be
a small man.
I still say that.
What?
You should not be here.
No, maybe not, but it's fine. I'm here, baby. Let's do this. Oh, I gotta piss.
Dude, just go
How
piss.
much do you weigh?
30 pounds.
You have great courage in the face of assured demise. I respect it.
Thanks, appreciate that.
If I find you suffering, I will put you out of your misery.
Oh, all right, that's real kind of you. Hey, my name's Pebble. What's yours?
I'm Everett James Petalbridge, and I have come to slay the beasts.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Pebble, do you mind just like standing a little more, like over to the left a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure.
Just like a little farther.
Yeah.
Just like a
all right,
little farther.
All right, yeah.
Little farther.
My time on this world, I know.
Keep going. I'll tell you when
Come
to.
to
I'll
learn
tell you
that
when to stop.
beasts will never
Pebble disappears.
live
into the
alongside us. I'm still like monologuing at Pebble.
crowd. Yeah, I know.
It is us or them. And
Thank
I
you,
choose
sir.
us. What do you
You're-
choose, Pebble? Pebble? Where the shit?
You're like simultaneously interrupted by Huntmaster Hawk, who takes the front, and she stands at attention. Here in the Dragon's Egg, we are a family. We watch each other's backs. We try to make sure each other survive each hunt. But that will not always be the case.
Telling me.
I pinch Everett.
Who did that? Who made that sound just now?
Put my hands behind my back.
Weird sound that just happened. I don't know who could have done that.
The person standing next to you is here today and could be in the stomach of a monster tomorrow.
I look at Lucia.
I look at
I
Everett.
look at Everett.
We both look at Everett.
I brood.
That is why we must be diligent, and our skills must be as sharp as the weapons we carry. Tomorrow, each of you will be departing and embarking on your first hunt. For most of you, most of your parties, on the 4th floor, you will find the hunting board room. Almost all of your new parties have had an assignment already. However, in our midst, we are granted and gifted a rookie blessed with the arcane. There is one party I request to see me on the 49th floor so that I can assign your hunt tomorrow personally. Today, for the rest of you, get acquainted with one another. Explore the Hunter's Spire and the outskirts of the Dragon's Egg. But do not, under any circumstance, leave this safe haven without direct permission from the Guildmaster or myself. Your sleeping quarters, for rookies, are here on the spire. From floors 5 to 25, each of you will have a room marked with your party members' names. On the 2nd floor is our blacksmith, who handles all of our weapon needs. The 3rd floor is our doctor, and as I said before, the 4th floor is the hunting board room. Is anyone in confusion or have any questions? She also mentions that, like, bathhouses and stuff like that are the 26th and 27th floor for rookies, and then 28 to 48 are for some veteran hunters that don't have, like, housing outside of the spire. After she's finished speaking, last thing that she says is, we all want you to survive and rise through the ranks. You only do so by following orders and being strong. Dismissed. And then she hops down and begins to beeline towards your group.
Oh no.
I look back. Shit, she meant us.
Clearly.
I just figured maybe there was somebody else who was blessed with the arcane.
Lucia goes pin fucking straight and salutes. Straightens her back completely.
At ease, she says when she walks up.
By full slouch. Shrimp mode.
I have heard a lot about your performances during the exam.
Yeah, I bet.
We killed that snake several times. 4 different heads, 5 different heads, lots of heads.
So what's this special hunt that we're going on?
I need the 3 of you to settle in, and then by the sunset, come to the 49th floor, and I will talk to you then.
Sure.
She squints at you, and then walks off.
I squint back at her. as
She gives
walks
you.
away.
She gives a bit of a look that you're speaking too casually toward me. And then she walks away. So, you guys are a bit free to do what you'd like with all of this info that you had. Some people are kind of kissing up to Guildmaster Rock at the front, at a con after a panel, people try to get the attention of the people on the panel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
That's exactly what you see. And some people are scattering and leaving. Other people are heading straight towards the dining hall.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really know if we gave a good first impression or a bad one, but
It doesn't matter. What does is that we kill a monster.
not tonight. Though we were just told to not do that. Leave this place at all. But we should go talk to her at least about our assignment.
Absolutely typical of you, Jin.
Dude.
Following every order given to you.
What do you want from me? I'm tired. I'm hungry. That was a long boat ride. Okay.
Have you considered that perhaps they told us not to leave in hopes that we would and show initiative?
You're insane. You're insane. Actually, I think that is nonsense that you're saying right now. Did you did the same
This is
training I
clearly
did,
how
right?
they weed out the weak from the strong.
Listen, I'm
What do
just
you
gonna
think,
say,
Lucia? Lucia?
Lucia,
You see her on the floor, just playing with
did she
Amber.
collapse?
No. She's sat on the floor playing with Amber. She's totally checked out.
Typical. All right.
She snaps her fucking head up and looks at you and stares daggers into you.
Well, if we're not going to leave and do what we came here to do, perhaps preparations are in order. Lucia. Where's your nose telling you?
Are you?
She sniffs the air. She sniffs her hand again. I want food.
That's what I've been saying. Listen, even if we were allowed to leave today, can't leave on an empty stomach, okay? Nutrition's very important. For a healthy
Are
mindset.
there any places to eat around here?
There is a large dining hall on the other side of this building.
Okay.
Of this chamber, on the other side of the hallway.
I'd like to go
What
there.
need do we have for food when we can fill our bellies with victory against those who have trespassed against us? For where are you going? Where are you?
What do you think they're serving today?
Victory.
God damn it.
Are we walking away from you?
Yeah, I know. I follow up behind. I said when our bellies are full of victory against those who have trespassed against us for so long. Why are you guys not even
Is that why
listening?
you're so scrawny, Everett?
I am not scrawny.
You gotta eat more meat.
I simply only have the mass on me that I will need. No excess.
How many calories is victory?
How many what?
What kind of nutritional value does it have? Any protein?
Fiber?
Is this a part of the arcane they speak of?
Any vitamins?
I'd like to think that Everett only drinks Monster.
Like totally drinks Monster and just eats fucking
Goldfish.
well, no, like it's totally like he eats only if he's killed the thing.
So
He's a hunter-gatherer.
that makes sense. I mean, most people do. But the way it works here, as you guys walk into the dining hall, there are hunters that focus more on small game just to keep everyone alive and stuff like that. But it is way more prepared and actually cooked, and there is a craft here as you enter the building. Anything that you were smelling previously is overwhelmed by the delicious scent of spices and sauce and meat and like vegetables mixed in, soups, a variety of platters here in the dining hall. There are a lot of circular tables and barrels to sit on, and near the center of the room there's two massive stoves that kind of connect to the ceiling, and kind of like a circular bar almost. There are these and I promise Connie, this is the only like real Monster Hunter reference in the entire game. But
Hearing.
in
That's funny.
these two circular bars in front of the stoves, cooking are Puss in Boots shaped house cats that have been supposedly blessed with magic as they move around and they speak. And this is extremely like, oh, this is almost the first time any of you have ever seen two house cats moving around and speaking.
Okay, is one of them jacked?
One, yeah, dude, certainly.
Yes.
One of them is super jacked. They are like essentially white and black furred mini tabaxis. And yeah, they have name tags, I guess, so that people all know who to call them by. They are Salt and Pepper, the main chefs of the Dragon's Egg here at the Spire.
Oh my god.
So they are shouting out at customers who walk up and order something. They cook. Actually, the Pepper, the black furred one, is doing most of the talking and shouting out orders and stuff, while Salt is really locked in, like super focused on all the cooking. You hear, "Hey, welcome into the new place, everybody. We got new hunters, which means we got new stomachs to fill. Okay, sit down, have a good time, all right? Tell me what you need. I got meat, I got kebabs, I got bacon, I got everything that you want. Just
I
sit
get
down."
really close. Who is this in front of me?
This is Pepper. Pepper is sort of a mix between like chefing it up. What the fuck did I just chefing it up?
Chef it up. Sounds like
Chefing
a
it up?
fucking Disney Channel original show.
Dude, they are cooking and stuff, but they're more handling people around them and like remembering that, because people just kind of like shout out what they want, and then Pepper remembers it, relays it to Salt. Salt makes it happen. That's kind of the way it goes. But they're in like two separate counters, so that they both have room to aid each other in those ways. So yeah, you walk up to Pepper, the black kitty.
Really close to the face.
What can I do for you?
What is your name?
Pepper, all right? You are
Pepper.
looking scarily similar to me with the sharp claws and the fangs. I bet you're hungry like me too.
I could eat.
Oh,
Do you have leg of lamb?
Of course, we have anything that you can think of. Leg of lamb, please, Salt. I got it.
There's more than leg of lamb.
Oh, there's a whole world out there. Hey, I'll have one of everything, honestly.
Everything.
Another round of one of everything. Okay, Salt, make it happen. I'll help you with half of the menu. Okay, I got it.
Is the concept of a grilled cheese.
One grilled cheese coming right up.
Okay.
It's literally like a block of cheese that's being grilled right now.
Hey, what? Lucia, is this a part of the arcane?
No. Easy to make.
You get like a plate of grilled cheese, but it's like comically grilled. Like it's not melted from the heat or anything for some reason.
Just
It's
like sear
grilled.
marks.
Yeah, just the sear marks. You eat a block of grilled cheese like that.
Yeah. I take a cartoon-sized bite out of it.
You go to take a cartoon-sized bite, and I go to slap it out of your hand first. Careful!
Hey.
I sense danger coming from this block.
No, it's delicious.
I mean, it hurts my stomach when I
Reeks.
eat it, but it's easy to make. This is all that I eat at home.
Wait, but
You eat this.
wait. I'm sorry. I mean, it's easy to make, yeah, but they're making it for you. You could have literally anything.
Yeah, but why change? What?
Why do you question her dietary choices?
Because,
You
like,
tried to slap
I mean,
it out of my hand.
I was doing so for your safety.
listen, I'm just stating some stuff. You know, you're both kind of small. I mean, like, you're making a lot of comments yourself on everybody else around here, Everett, but, like, you don't
I
really got
suppose
any
everything is small
skin on those
compared
bones.
to that sword.
Look, Everett,
what exactly are you compensating
It's
for?
good. Just
My
try
penis.
It. Huh?
What?
What is that?
No!
Oh dear.
Penis?
I respect your honesty.
I've never heard Grizzly get that.
You guys told me you don't want anything like that in the campaign.
That's
You
not
can't
sexual
ask
to say
what is a
penis.
penis and then go from there.
Listen, I just
You
don't
can't
know.
do that.
You
was
can.
rhetorical.
You can.
we can.
All right,
It's
fine.
rhetorical.
Continue
yeah.
on. I'm just here. I'm just waiting. I'll wait.
No, that's a good question. What is a penis?
What?
You actually hear, of course you wouldn't fucking know, you dweeb. You know penis having dweeb?
Who said that? I don't turn my head, and I want to sense. I want to sense who this is.
You
I feel like
who
I
this
know.
is.
I feel like
It's
I know.
Alf the Alpha
It's
Elf.
Alf, dude.
What are you eating, a
Alf.
block of fucking cheese? What were you raised on a tree?
Sensed you from a mile away.
You were raised with a fucking rat, dude?
My head turns around. You hear a loud creaking noise as my head almost turns 180 degrees to look back at Alf.
Northwest.
And I grab a chunk of cheese out of my plate and I fucking lob it at him.
Oh my god, you're gonna throw the cheese at him?
He's an asshole. He insulted my cheese habits.
Okay, I thought you were just gonna eat it. I was gonna have you roll intimidation, but now roll to hit.
Okay. A 7.
A 7.
Yeah,
So it
was rough.
misses, and he unsheathes his sword, and he goes, oh, okay, fine, you wanna fucking go, huh? You wanna fucking go, dude? Stand up right now, we'll fucking do this right here, dude, in front of everyone, dude. I'll prove to you right now, dude, I'm the fucking alpha elf, dude. I see you're an elf too, man. I'll fucking prove it right now. Get up! Get the fuck up, dude! Get the fuck up!
I'm just gonna eat. I'm just gonna eat.
I think I turned back around.
Oh, you just turn
Yeah.
around? Are you for... Oh my... He's gonna pick up your chair. He's gonna pick up the
I
plate.
do hope memory serves you well. Look into my eyes. They will be the last thing that you see.
Roll intimidation with advantage for Waz. He's about to just go full fucking sumo. You also hear the Pepper is like, oh no, not again. Somebody please call one of the guild masters.
That's a 12.
12. He stops going for the chair. He looks around. He's not scared, but he goes, you know what? Like I said earlier, dudes, I'll see you in the fucking jungle. Okay? Better hunt fast. Cause Alf is hunting you. One of everything, please. And then he just like walks off with his little posse.
I sit down and I look to the others. I'm counting on it.
Are you going to need another block of cheese?
Lucia
Yes.
just points at Everett and basically just being like, for him.
What? If I eat that, I will surely die.
I hold up my hand and then I hold up 2 fingers and I go make it do.
I don't think you'll die. I just think you'll get some meat on your bones, you know?
I have all the meat that is necessary for the mission.
That's not true. Arm wrestle me.
You truly wish to test me, Jin?
Yeah.
This has not gone well in the past,
An arm
and it will
wrestle
not
is
go well
just
from now.
contested athletics.
I got an 11.
14.
Again.
Okay. Sure.
7.
17.
Again.
I can do this all day.
5.
15.
Again.
Dude,
12.
10.
Ha!
Okay, it took you 4 tries. I'm getting a little fatigued.
It matters not. I simply waited for you to be fatigued until I used my true strength. Biding my time.
Again.
What?
I
Shit.
rolled like shit, goddammit.
11.
9.
The weakness is creeping in. Again.
Again.
16.
15. Fuck.
I feel the sweat.
Lucia has gotten up and left the table at this point. She's not even here anymore.
was
One
just
more
about to ask-
time.
I was just about to ask. These guys are locked in an endless loop of arm wrestling. Lucia, where
6.
are you going? What are you up to?
I slipped.
I'm probably just gonna try making my way to our room so I can get all my shit sorted out.
Okay, so you're heading towards a room, or the room that you'll be sleeping in. As you go up the second floor and the third floor, you do pass by like the blacksmith and the doctor, and then you continue up. You pass the hunting board room where there's quite a few different like parties, like hunting parties that are there, looking at the boards and seeing their assignments. And you continue up, and you hear the purring in your bag from Amber, who I assume they got like some kind of snack at the dining hall.
Natural 20.
Just enjoying it in there. Guys,
You're still rolling.
Dude,
Wait, can I
I'm
have-
losing over here.
I'm gonna turn you guys down to like,
You just want us to keep going?
yeah, just keep going in the background.
Okay, that's
I'll
funny.
turn them down.
That's
I'm gonna have them just like quietly in the background rolling
Yeah.
and shit.
Again.
Okay, so you pass all that. You hear Amber enjoying her little snack, her little cheese, and then you get to, let's say, floor 15, you are quite high up at this point, but not the absolute highest. It's still spiraling up the spire, the different rooms and stuff. They kind of like build on each other. If you can imagine like boxes on the outside of a cylinder just kind of like wrapped around it, those are the different rooms. You do find your room for your party, and inside there's like some shoddy wooden furniture for storage and stuff like that, and then like 3 hammocks for you guys. It's a pretty like rookies, it's not like super uncomfortable because, you know, most things, if you're not sleeping in a hammock or in like some hay or some grass or something, you're sleeping on the ground or the mud. So a hammock is better than nothing. And you are in your room. What do you want to do?
I'd like to make this as like bizarrely messy as possible for me to settle in. So Lucia takes her bag and lets Amber walk out of it first and settle onto whatever surface that she wants to sit on, and then pours the rest of the contents of her bag out on the floor. And it's a fucking lot. Like, she's got a lot of shit in this bag. It's almost like hammer space in this thing because it's just trinkets and wrappers of like pastries that she's gotten like a week ago.
Yeah.
Just like anything that she's ever had is in this bag. And she just kind of starts rifling through it and throwing certain things into corners of the room. She probably puts stuff in everyone's hammock, just like totally unaware of the fact that they also need to sleep there. And then eventually she kind of just lays down in the hammock and stares at the ceiling. And the room is destroyed.
As you stare at the ceiling, this is a big change. What, if anything, is Lucia thinking or feeling?
She definitely notices how big the room is, and Lucia kind of snaps out of her trance, staring at the ceiling, and lifts her head up and looks around the room. Is there like a window that I could look through in this room?
Yeah.
So Lucia gets up and walks towards the window and stares out at the large city that she's kind of been founded, because like comparatively to where she grew up, this egg is like the most stuff she's probably ever seen in her life.
Yeah, this is definitely like one of the few places where people have built up together and created such a large established, safe haven. You look down and you see gardens, and you see a pit for training. You even see like large empty cells for holding different monsters. And when you're looking down, you think, my God, it is a long way down.
Mm-hmm. She kind of feels like a pit open in her stomach as when she thinks about how high up she is. Not because she's afraid of heights, but her mind starts racing about what would happen.
Definitely.
She slowly backs away, just gets back up on her hammock and tries to forget.
Ember hops in there and starts to like cuddle a little bit. And I guess now I'm going to turn them back up.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
All right, my first death save is that's a 16. That'll pass. That's
Okay, you're
one
pass.
success.
Oh, shit, I gotta get this guy to the doctor. Oh, fuck.
So like this whole time, I don't know what I'm just gonna jump in here. You pick up Everett. I mean, like there's probably like a crowd of people around you guys. You're like cheering and like watching this fucking arm wrestle go down. At one point, you saw
you gotta understand, it started with an arm wrestle, then we just started eating the shit.
Okay, so you guys start fighting, and usually this happens in the training pit, and you okay, you like rush him out. Fuck, that's so funny. That's so canon too. You make it to the doctor, and you meet. I won't spend too much time on it, but you do meet Artery, who is a halfling. and she's super cheery. As soon as you walk in, there's actually a few hunters. It takes you back because every bed in here is mostly full. People who have like missing limbs, people who are pale and they look sick. And what do you say as you rush in here?
Oh, doctor, I beat the shit out of him too much and he's dying, I think.
Oh, that happens a lot. Okay, all right, just lay him down right here and I'll take care of it.
Okay.
So, what got you guys fighting on your first day here? You look like you look real strong. You look like a rookie. Anything caught your eye today? Anything interesting?
We were eating and I was telling him he needs more meat on his bones because he's so small, right? So we started arm wrestling and we went back and forth and he won some and I won some and then it got so serious we started beating the shit out of each other and I accidentally I curb stomped him. I'm gonna be honest, it was bad.
Yeah, I can see that. There's
My
a bit
teeth
of
are just fucking mangled.
It's got a bit of swelling here. There's a little blood under the eyelids. Nothing that a quick little. She goes over. She grabs a potion. She concocts some sort of like apothecary medicine and stuff. And she also puts some frozen water, ice, in a bag, and then puts it on his face. Makes him drink the little potion. And she goes, "All right, you know what? Just give it about 15 minutes, and this will all just be right as rain."
Okay, that's good.
15 minutes go by. You're all good. You guys can.
You wake
go
up and you look to your right, and you see me on your table, like on the table next to you, arm in arm wrestle position again.
Oh my god.
No!
And we
8.
and we cut back.
Okay,
15,
so
14.
you guys arm wrestle till like it is time. It is sunset. It is time for you guys to be at the 49th floor to meet with Huntmaster Hawk. And Lucia, you've had like a nap at this point. Like
She's as they're walking, she's slapping her face to try and get pumped for this meeting.
We're walking down the hallway towards you at this point, but we're still like competing. Like I think we're just like shoving against each other.
Lucia's definitely behind
Yeah,
you
no,
guys,
we're
like
too- we're
watching
totally-
this from the back.
We're totally like running to try and get there first. A test of strength isn't fair anyway. In a fight with a monster, your agility is your greatest ally.
Yeah, good thing I'm faster than you.
Oh, in your dreams, Jin. I'm faster than you'll ever dream of being.
I can climb 49 floors before you can easily.
I guess we'll see.
I just call out to Everett. Everett!
What do you need?
Shoelaces!
To look down at my shoelaces?
I'm gone.
A distraction! I should have known you were in on it! I go to run.
Eventually, all three of you get to the 49th floor and you arrive at what looks to be as penthouse as you can get in this age, this era, this lack of technology. It is just a floor for the Guildmaster to live in. He lives at the very top, and Huntmaster Hawk is up here with him. They're both in this living chamber. It is extremely nice. It is well decorated. It's comfortable. It's not at all like what your room is that you saw, Lucia. Mm-hmm. And both of them definitely hear you guys coming as you're like screaming and hitting every step with all of your force.
Well, hang on. Right towards the end, would it be possible to let Jin run in and be loud and stealth my way in and hide in the shadows?
I was imagining you were doing the shit that you do in school where you're running in the halls, but then you start passing a
teacher sees like
door.
Oh yeah.
So you just start walking.
I simply want to use him as a distraction to slip my way in unnoticed.
Yeah. I see you can do that. You can get in unnoticed. What is the benefit that you're looking to gain? Just be
Nothing,
hidden?
I just want to be mysterious.
Okay, nice.
I beat you. Yeah.
I think a full minute should pass before Lucia makes it in the door.
You just don't see me. Well, you might. I rolled a 10.
Let me roll. I rolled a 12. I don't see you though, just for fun.
I want to see if I see you. You have 24.
You totally do. No, you totally see me.
The moment I walk in the door, my eyes beam towards a fucking potted plant. And I see you
Just behind the leaves.
crouched behind the leaves.
So,
Oh, where's Everett anyways? Yeah, I'm sure that he's not that slow.
I'm just looking at it like my stare
Oh my
does
God.
not stop.
okay, so I just rolled a natural 20.
Yeah.
You sneak in, and immediately when Jin enters in, he's acknowledged by the Huntmaster and the Guildmaster. And then when you try to sneak in, you feel a gaze. on you without even looking at you. You feel the Huntmaster notices you are there without a doubt. And all it kind of makes the hair on your skin raise out of defensiveness, like you are in the presence of a predator. But from the actual Guildmaster, he doesn't seem to notice, and he's like, they kind of keep chatting in the background until Lucia comes in, and then the Huntmaster whispers that you are here, and then he says, okay, well, now that everyone's here, I'll make my leave, and best of luck to you with this assignment. Know that I am proud that such interesting and passionate hunters have wanted to join and risk their lives for the sake of all of humanity. So thank you all. Despite being the lowest rank, you are well on your way to being strong and important and valuable veterans. At any point after the hunt tomorrow, because I know it'll be successful.
As do I.
Hope we'll talk again soon. All right. And he sort of like heads out of the room here and starts to go down the steps to do whatever he needs to do. And the Huntmaster Hawk, let's call her Hawk, is sitting, standing, and gazing at all of you. I know you're there.
A keen eye. I step out from behind a potted plant.
Lucia's giggling.
What was the point of that?
I simply needed to show you that your brutish nature will be your demise, Jin.
I still beat you here, though.
That's what you think.
I mean, you could have been hiding back there for I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention once I got here. Once I won.
And that is your fatal flaw.
What are you even saying?
Master Hawk, where are we needed?
Usually, a rookie hunting party would not be asked to take on such a dangerous hunt right away. But some of our strongest have been injured or killed as we pursue the ever-prominent threat of the beast that lives within the volcano. And usually, we do not have one gifted by the stars and one seemingly immune to monster blight, as she looks at you, Everett and Lucia.
I'm also really strong and cool.
Quiet now.
Whenever you say that, Jen, she says, it is quite the pairing for two such unique hunters and one prodigy raised by Ela, a legend herself. She is or was a great friend who earned great respect in her younger days, and I am saddened to hear of what happened so long ago in Dalhelm.
Yeah. Well, I'm here now to fight so that never happens again.
I know you will carry on her legacy, or she will kill you for failing.
Yeah.
Apt.
I knew... She looks at you, Lucia. Your mother and father as well. Robert and Eleanor.
Lucia slowly nods.
They were also great hunters. Anyways, pleasantries aside, because of your dynamic and strength, I surely hope, you have what it takes. There's a particular unpredictable and deadly monster. Life decays in its presence with whatever blighted aura it has. It's never been successfully hunted because the risks are too apparent to normal people, and our amount of healers is quite scarce. You can see why I think your group in particular could be its weakness.
Yeah.
However, there is a bit of a catch. This monster must be captured, not slain.
What?
Can't we captured alive?
What is the meaning for this?
Lucia unpuffs her chest. She was kind of holding her breath.
Because of its aura, if captured, the knowledge the Research Guild could gain from its inner workings could change how we use magic, how we gain it, as we know it.
Surely, more can be learned through dissection, ripping the beast apart, and studying the pieces.
Well, this is where you show your freshness to the job. a monster with an aura, and their blighted aura, once it's killed, anything magical within is inert, completely nullified, gone. Not much to gain once it's dead. Unfortunately, as much as I empathize with you, it is dangerous and deadly, and therefore it is our duty to have it slayed, and trust that it will. You don't have to leave it unharmed, just alive, to be studied, and then it will be dispatched of. Do you have any questions so far?
No questions,
No.
but 2 requests. First, once you've done what you need with the beast, I would like to be present for its final moments. Second, our group is a strong one, but what you're asking of us may require more. There's one by the name of Alf.
No.
No.
I request his presence.
Go ahead and
Lucia
roll
puts her
persuasion.
fucking hands on her head.
Persuasion with disadvantage, unfortunately.
Fuck, that's a 6.
Damn it.
Damn.
Dude, we could have had him.
It's okay. We can still bait him.
Respect of the hierarchy and dignity will take you a lot farther here in this guild. Just to remind you, Everett. Unfortunately, Alf and his party have already been given an assignment, and as for being there when the monster is killed, this could be months from now. So we'll see how well you do until then. Understood?
Yes.
It has no known vulnerabilities, only that it adapts very well, and its armored portions likely protect its vital weaknesses. But its exterior is tough, and its aura is necrotic.
Can I ask what type of creature it is?
We think it is related to the animal family, a mixture between the Bos Taurus and the Cercopithecidae.
You made that up, surely.
So, like, as a person, can I know what it means?
Yeah.
As a human being.
You sound it out. Can you use it in a sentence?
One sec. Let
the
me
sake
see how
of
I should pronounce.
notes.
Cercopithecidae. That's how you say it. Cercopithecidae. So a mix between the animal family Bos Taurus and Cercopithecidae. Cercopithecidae. Fuck it, dude. She says, in simpler terms, is a mix between bull and monkey.
Okay. Wow, you should have just led with that. Yeah.
Holy
I have no
fuck.
idea what the other word you said was.
No, that was worth it. Holy shit.
A faded monkey.
He said bull and monkey.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And this world is filled with beasts and monsters, but there are still like passive animals like, you know, dogs, cattle, small monkeys, small house cats, like that kind of stuff. But, you know, things do get bigger and larger and become monstrous.
That's so funny.
It is very, very likely that this beast its blood is dark, so it is very dangerous. If for any reason you feel you cannot succeed, do not die trying.
All right, we will exercise caution on this hunt. But I think I speak for all of us when I say I don't think we're gonna come back without that monster in our hands, or like in a bag behind us. Maybe I don't.
We will contain the beast by any means.
Lucia holds up a thumbs up.
You can get the supplies for capturing from Frank and Francine on the bottom floor. She hands you like a golden beetle. Just give them this and tell them what you need and they'll supply.
I also put my thumb up. Like thinking it's like a salute. I
I'm
think it's
still
really,
holding it up.
Yeah, I do it with you.
Dismissed.
I put up my other thumb and then I turn around,
I do the same thing.
holding them out in front of me
mimic.
as I walk away.
We walk away.
I walk
How are
away.
we going to get him?
The monster?
No.
Oh.
You know who.
I think that'll be easy.
Agreed.
All we have to do is lay a little trap.
More cheese.
Dude, we get cheese and we go sit in Alf's room and wait for him. With like cheese, there's cheese on the table and we're hiding somewhere in the room.
Well, I was about to end the session, but now I feel I don't. Do you want to play that out?
I do really badly. Really badly. This is important.
All three of you are hiding with cheese in his room.
Uh-huh.
First check. Once you get there, who's ever picking the lock with your whatever? None of you pick locks. I don't. You have
Would it
to
be
get
sleight of
into
hand?
Yeah.
I break the door.
Okay, bet.
Okay, you just break the door. Make a strength check.
15.
Okay, 15. You rip the door open. You guys all get in there. Roll stealth when you're holding the cheese. All three of you.
8.
22.
22, 8, and
Natural one.
natural 1. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so definitely a group failure here.
Oops.
You guys hide. You think you're really hidden, but every now and again you'll hear Animal go, and she's getting a little hot. She's getting sleepy, hungry. She doesn't want to be in the bag anymore. You keep trying to tell her to shut.
Silence, feline.
And then
I'm trying
all of
to
a sudden
feed
you
her
hear
pieces
steps.
of cheese, but she's not taking them.
Your steps, and then you hear, dude, what the fuck? Someone broke into my room, dude. And then barging in, you see Elf the Alpha, and then the half elf and the gnome that's part of his party.
Fuck.
They know.
He walks in there, does a few sniffs. There's fucking cheese in here, dude.
He's on to us.
You fuckers are in my room, aren't you? And he takes off his sword. He just immediately starts to slam down towards the nearest fucking like hiding spot.
I want to shove the cheese that I
split them
have
up.
in my hand. How much cheese do I have in my hand?
Dude, he said they had like infinite cheese down there.
A handful of cheese, like just a ton
Am
of
I
it.
able
What do
to
you do
fit
with
it all in my mouth?
Fuck, dude. I mean, you'd have to have the like just the right amount of cheese to fit it all in your
You would
mouth.
have to be a
Not even-
hamster.
And then you'd have like the largest cheeks I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, he tries to strike at one of you. I'm just gonna roll a d4 here. 1 is nothing. 2 is Everett. 3 is Jen, and 4 is Lucia. 2. What did I say? 2 was?
Everett.
Everett.
Okay, you feel the sword smack into the wood next to you, and it reveals your location. I fucking knew it was gonna be you, dude. What are you doing in my fucking room?
Fancy seeing you here.
Throw the cheese!
Do we all just start belting him
Now!
with cheese?
Totally.
Oh fuck! Oh,
Totally
Oh,
throw
I'm
some
gonna-
cheese at him.
guys, fucking kill him!
It's a 14 to hit with the cheese.
Yeah, 14 doesn't hit, unfortunately.
Fuck.
Is a 17 hit?
Another natural one.
Jesus. You ate it all.
What's wrong with
I got an 18 with my cheese.
Holy fuck, dude. That's gotta.
18 definitely pelts him. Just roll 1d4.
How
Okay.
did I miss him? He's like such a large target.
That's a 4.
He has armor and stuff, so you might hit him, but it might have not affected him. 4 damage. You clock him right in the face. I'll make that give him disadvantage to go and try and grapple Everett. Everett, roll acrobatics or athletics.
I trained for this. 15.
You guys literally met. Roll again. Still roll
Shit.
advantage.
Natural 20.
Oh my god, dude.
Shit.
You're able to just fucking
Dude,
easily.
can I grapple him?
Yeah, I guess so. You grapple him, tries to go for you, and you just kind of like slither onto his back and then cling onto him like a monkey. Dude, what the fuck? You're gonna make my condition flare up. You guys are fucking freaks, dude. You're fucking freaks.
Can
Somebody
I tie
help.
his shoelaces?
You
Calm
tie his
yourself,
shoelaces?
Alf.
Okay, I just say you do that because you grapple. His other teammates are like not sure what the fuck is going on, so one of them
Hey.
just runs out the door and immediately tries to go like find somebody of a higher rank to figure out what they're supposed to do, and the other one is just like looking at you guys and waiting to see what else you do. What are you doing while you have him grappled and you have his shoelaces tied?
We're bullying this man.
We'll see you in the jungle tomorrow. You'll find us, yeah.
Oh, that's
Dude.
so good.
Dude, when I find you tomorrow, I'm gonna fucking kill you, dude.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Let me go, you fucking monster boy, dude.
Oh, you want me to let you go?
He's gonna
Don't
try
think
and like
so, Alf.
Giant, like fucking. That's a 4. He tries to like slam you on the wall, but it does absolutely nothing.
I caught you slipping today, Alf. Maybe you'll catch me slipping tomorrow. We'll see who the real alpha is. And I let him go and I want to slip away.
Let's get out of here.
We all just walk away.
He's like on the floor, like hands and knees. He looks up at as you guys walking away. You're gonna fucking ruin this game!
I'm counting on it.
What the fuck were you doing that whole time, dude? He's like yelling at his party members.
All right.
And that's where we're ending the session.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Yippee.
Phase 1 complete.